Ahlan Si Mustafa, hello. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope everything is doing well with everyone here. I just wonder whether there are people who have joined. Ahlan lillah Kautar, ahlan wa sahlan. Natalie, hello. So today Kautar has come between Mustafa and Nati. Jihad, ahlan wa sahlan. Khadija Ait Mulay, ahlan wa sahlan. I hope everyone is doing well. I don't know whether I can do without this or so. Let me just get rid of it and then be back. Okay, just this. I think it's fine like this. This is better. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. Said Jihad and Khadija Eid Moulay, Duja, hello everyone. Sukaina, good evening. I hope you're doing it. Hello, Sadazin, Bahlan wa Sahlan. Okay, hello, Saik, Kautar Sabiri, Dr. Mustafa. I would like to, that's very nice of you, Kautar. Thank you. Yeah, عقبالك inshallah very soon because you are also a doctoral student. Asma, hello, Shadia, Muhammad Zaraq, ahlan wa sahlan, my friend. Awatif, salam. Thank you, Awatif. Thank you, everyone, Shadia and Asma. Beyond the book, I forgot him. Saik also. Imad, ahlan si Imad, how are you? Dr. Imad, Professor Imad, how are you? Nice to have you among us, Mr. Imad. Thank you for making it. Excuse this late arrival. The reason was a famous football match that I couldn't skip. And, it took us some time to, it took me some time to, because I was outside, so I have just come. I just wanted to finish that football match, just to tell you the truth. And I finished before, but I had something more urgent to do. Anyway, thank you very much. Ahlan Si Uthman, Azul Manzakin Si Uthman. I hope you're doing well. Si Saeed, ahlan, my friend. How are you? Nice to have you here. Ahlan Maryam, ahlan wa sahlan. 21 people are here. I don't know whether we can have more. It looks like phonology attracted more people interested, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's Barca and Inter. That's even if you have retracted the message, I could read it, but you were right. It's saying that anyway. No problem. I'm not much of a football fan, but I just happen to be in a cafe and I like the match just like that. I'm not really, except when the Moroccan national team, plays. In that case, I cannot do any other thing than watching the match. So I don't know if I can change the glasses. You make me choose these ones or these, I think. But I think these need some wiping. Excuse me. I need to wipe the glasses. Not enough good tissue. All right. Okay. No, still. I forgot where I have it here. I guess in this. No, the box is empty. So let me put the others back. I feel that there is something wrong with the glasses. Anyway, I don't like neither do I, except when there is a football match played, against Morocco. Morocco plays against someone. I like to watch, the match there. Okay, my friends, it's nice that you have come over to follow this live session. I would like to thank you so much. And I wish you all the best with your exams because I see that the exams are drawing near. I hope everyone will make it, inshallah. Jibrawi, Selma, hello. Sana, hello as well. Umayma, hello. Sukaina, I think I read your comments. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you. Hit the like button so that we can have 27 viewers against 27 likes. Okay. You are welcome. Ahlan Ustad Atimad. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Where is Samia? Is she around? Okay. Thank you for making it. Thank you. Yeah, 27 against 17. Now I have 17 likes. So 22 likes. That's fine. There is some balance this way. Thank you so much. Do you think we should start or wait? Start type 1, wait type 2. Start type 1, beyond the book. Alan Hajar. Yeah, everyone would like us to start. Thank you very much. So let's start right away. I would like to start with something like this. Let me start with this. Okay. Hello, Sumya. Hello. They watch TV so often. They watch TV so often. They watch TV so often. Thank you. So Ahmed Boussal, hello. Hello, Ahmed. All right. So they watch TV so often. I would like you to look at this and also consider just the idea that, of course, in this sentence, just imagine we have they watch, and then we have TV so, and then often. What is weird about these things? What is weird about these things? What is weird about these groupings? Are they natural? They watch. Is it a natural block? Answer, no, it's not a natural block. TV so, is it a natural block? Answer, no, it's not a natural block. Why? It's because, we have a feeling just by our hunch, but by intuition, we have a feeling that these two words cannot group together because they have no purpose to serve. Okay? So now Outman is here, Somia. Outman is here. Okay. So they watch, and then TV so is unnatural. TV so is unnatural. Okay, because there is no evidence that they watch can occur independently and TV so cannot occur independently. Ladies and gentlemen, compare this with something like this. Okay, all right. They watch TV and then so often. Okay, I hope you are able to read. Anyway, this is the same sentence. So we have a sentence here. They watch TV so often, which is duplicated here. This is nice. But then it looks like here the words or the groups of words in the circle do not seem to be natural. They watch is not natural. TV so is not natural. Often on its own, it may be natural because we can say often, but these two do not. Compare this, ladies and gentlemen, with grouping it this way. So you have they, and then you have watch TV, and then we have so often. What I am driving at is the fact that in language, be it English, Arabic, whatever, in language there are certain groups of words that are natural and certain other groupings, among words is unnatural. Combinations of words can sometimes be natural and they can sometimes be unnatural. Just by feel, you can tell that combining watch TV, saying watch TV like this, just imagine you meet someone and say watch TV. There will be some meaning out of this. But if you say TV so, you just meet someone and say TV so, يقول لك مالك كيفاش TV so? What is this? You see? or they watch. They watch. There is this feeling that it is incomplete anyway. But TV show, that's I think the most flagrant one is TV show. Just imagine Sumia here meets Uthman and says, "Hey, see Uthman, TV show." So Uthman will say, what do you mean? You see, I am saying this because they are involved in a discussion here. You see, so it's an unnatural combination. Now, for the words that can combine together, they behave in unison. Unison, okay, means they behave together. They act in concert. You see, they behave as though they were one block. So in words behave as though they were one block, we refer to them as a constituent. We say that that's a constituent. That block is a constituent. So is this a possible constituent in English? TVSO? No. TVSO is not a constituent. You see? Thank you, Saeed, for writing it there. Thank you. أهلا فايزة ما مشيت مليح ضعتها الخ شوي نهار لا but thank you for making it. Okay, so as I said, TVSO is not a constituent like this. This is not a constituent because it's not natural. This is a constituent because it's natural. It's more natural to hear something like watch TV than to hear TV so. Okay, nice. So in syntax, because after all, syntax is what? It's the science that studies the constituents of a sentence or the components of a sentence. And of course, sentences consist of words. That's true. Hello. These are building blocks. It can consist of individual words like these, but it can also constitute of packs of words like these. So this is a constituent, you see, and maybe this one is this is another constituent, etc. So you have words here, but you have words that can combine. Some constituents can be like this. These three can behave as a constituent. Sometimes you have also this can be a whole constituent. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So in syntax, that's the bottom line. That's something you need to start with. In syntax, there is this recognition, of course, that words are building blocks. But it's not enough to talk just about words. There are some syntactic phenomena that are explicable only when we take into account the idea that some words behave in concert, behave as a group. But we do not take words haphazardly. Haphazardly means randomly. These combinations are not random. So there are some words that can form a natural combination, that is to say, a natural constituent. And there are, of course, those that cannot behave as though they were, a natural constituent. So in today's live, and I suppose it's going to be a shorter live than that of yesterday, we are going to address a number of, pieces of evidence, okay, pointing to the existence of, or arguing for the existence of constituents in English. Thank you, sweet potato. Thank you. All right, good. Now, please, if you have the opportunity to share, because I did not share, I don't know if I can take some time to share, or do you think it's going to be... but never mind. So if you can do the sharing yourself, that will be good. Share that also on your academic companion, my Facebook page, please. You can paste the link on Facebook page and maybe tag all followers. I don't know if that's possible for you to do that. But anyway, that's not a priority. The priority is this. Okay, so let's just talk about the different arguments favoring the existence of constituents rather than individual words. So Michael, hello, I hope you're doing well. So one thing you need to remember is that words, are not always, or do not always behave in syntax autonomously, okay? There are words that behave autonomously, but sometimes there are words that need to combine to form a larger constituent, okay? Nice. So let's just, Ahlan Hanan, never mind, you are welcome anyway. So let's now point to the different arguments supporting the existence of constituents in languages, in the syntax of languages. Thank you, Sumia. Thank you. Let's discuss the first argument. Let's discuss the first argument. The arguments that we are going to mention, the ones that appear on the thumbnail, are all pieces of evidence, are different pieces of evidence that work towards, proving that there are constituents in the syntax of languages, that elements in language can behave together. There is a natural pattern, there are natural groups, and there are, of course, unnatural groups. Okay, good. Unnatural groups means groups that you find weird. Like the example, TV so. You see, TV so. I don't know what the other word was here. I don't remember, but you see, so TV so is not a natural constituent. The students are nice. Just imagine the students. Okay, let's say that the students, yes sir, that do not go together. It means that they are unnatural. That's true. Thank you, Soumya. All right. So the students have read many books. The students have read many books. Let's write it here. The students have read many books. All right. Can we say that the whole thing is a constituent? Answer, yes, it is a constituent, but it's a larger constituent. Okay? All right. So this is a constituent itself. Inside it, what possible constituents can we have? Can we have, for example, just imagine, my dear friends, just imagine, if I have the as a group, just isolate this, the, and then I have students have, and then you have read many, and then books. Is this a natural way of subdividing the sentence on the assumption that there are, words that go together? The answer is automatically no. Even if we have grouped them, the grouping does not seem to be natural. All right? See, because you have isolated, you have taken the from the noun phrase, and then you have the head students, you are grouping it with the auxiliary, but these do not form a natural, these do not form a natural group. A natural group would be, okay, to say, for example, the student, that's one thing, and then have, look at this, have read many books. Of course, this is a natural constituent. Why? It's because you have a verb and then you have its object. So all this is a natural constituent. Inside it, we have other constituents. Of course, we have to have here have read and then many books. It's by feel. We feel that this is natural combination. And we feel that these are not natural combinations. So let's move on straightforwardly to the first argument, which is the argument of substitution. Okay, we have an argument called substitution. Substitution, it's this one here. Substitution. What is to substitute? It means to replace. You substitute X for Y, not with Y. For, you substitute something for something else. Remember this, that's grammar. Okay, substitution. Just imagine you have, what is important, let me put this down and talk to you. Just imagine on the day of the exam, your professor asks you to provide a few pieces of evidence to support the existence of constituents in English or in syntax. Um, uh, yeah, that's true, Sukaina. That's true. I'll come back. Okay, so just imagine you have this. And just imagine, because you have prepared well and you know all the pieces of evidence, which is better? And by the way, if the professor asks you to write one paragraph, because this question, this question, what evidence is there for the existence of constituents in the syntax of language? This question can be answered in an essay. But sometimes the professor, because there are constraints of time, etc., the professor asks you to write just one paragraph. This is a detail that deserves discussion. Now, if I have 1 to 6 or 1 to 5 arguments to support constituency, now I have two choices. Should I include all of them and show to my professor that I have learned all of them and that I stack one after another, and then I write a long paragraph that perhaps lacks in the necessary components? Or to take only two or three, unless the professor says all the arguments, or specifies that you have to mention 4 arguments. In that case, do what your professor asks you to do. But just in case you are asked to write a paragraph, and you know that there are certain constraints when we want to write a paragraph, because what is a paragraph after all? We know these things. A paragraph is... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very good. See, Said, I fully agree with you. That's a very good, a very good way of teaching them how to write things in linguistics. And it's about writing in general. It's a piece of writing about, writing in general. Look, I have two choices. The professor would like me to write a paragraph, and the professor asks the question, what evidence is there for the existence of constituency? Or use some arguments. Does he specify here? No, he does not. Some starts from 3 onwards. In this case, I have two choices. I have prepared well, and I have all the 5 or 6 arguments to write in a paragraph, to cram them in a paragraph, or to write, to focus on, or to use just 2 or 3 arguments to support constituency. If this has to do with a paragraph, I'd rather, see that a student resorts to the use of 3 arguments. 2 arguments I would accept. 2 arguments, 3 arguments, but write a good paragraph. So this one here is a trade-off between the quantity and the quality of the paragraph. If you will write 6 paragraphs at the expense or to the detriment of the quality of a paragraph, no, don't do that. You see? Because the paragraph will not be a good paragraph at all. So it's good to balance up. I would say in my topic sentence, in answer to the question as to what argument there is or what arguments there are to support the idea that there are constituents in languages, in syntax, in syntactic structure of languages, I would say there are at least 3 arguments, by the way. So the word at least here is very intelligently used. Why? Because you assume, you make the presupposition that there are other arguments that you will not mention. You see? There are at least. This at least can do an amazing job of kindly and legitimately excluding the ones that you are not. It's like you are telling the professor, of course I know that there are others, but for reasons of this paragraph, I will not focus on all of them. So you can say that there are at least 2 arguments or 3 arguments in favor of the idea that words occur as are grouped as or group function as constituents in languages. Okay, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that in any paragraph that you write, in answer to questions, in linguistics, if you have general questions, you have to pay attention, my friends. Sylvia says, I do not know them all. All right. So if you have in general questions, you've got to target quantity, but also quality, please. It doesn't mean anything to be asked to write a paragraph and you end up writing 1 page or 1 page and a half. That's not a paragraph at all. One can tolerate a paragraph to go up to 14, maybe sometimes 15 lines, with clear handwriting and with, in clear language. Yes, peut-être. Ça peut arriver. But to write 28 lines and with the assumption, ما كنقولوش with the assumption, on the assumption that, you see, your professor will be satisfied because you have written too much. This is an old idea, my friends. It does not. Your professor will never be satisfied only because you have written too much. You see, get rid of the idea, please. Especially in English. In English, you have to call a spade a spade. You have to say things directly and you have to express yourself in the clearest way possible. Never do anything, you see, at the expense of clarity and in the expense of relevance. That's true. That's true. That's the maximum of quantity, and that of quality should not be flouted. All right, that's true. If you want to, if you want to be, cooperative. Okay, that's the cooperative principle. Allah, guys, thank you. All right. Relevance too, of course, because relevance means that you should not be out of the topic. Out of topic. That's relevance. Okay. Fine. Anyway, manner. Of course, you should not tell lies, and you should speak you should not be pompous. You should use only the amount of talk that you are supposed to use. Anyway, there are those maxims. Let's not dwell on them for the time being. But anyway, you need to bear that in mind as well. You should not be driven by the need to produce more language. It's not a guarantee that you have answered the question satisfactorily. See? So let's move on. Now, substitution. Let's consider the following spontaneous example. I have very spontaneous examples. I'm spontaneous most often, and this can be good sometimes it can be bad. All right. Okay. All right. Look at this. You see the 3 cousins. You mentioned in your acknowledgements section are, let's say, nice. Look how long the sentence is. Okay. Now, how can I argue, for example, that there is a big constituent here? So the whole thing is a constituent. There is no denying that fact. But of course, there is a constituent inside this, very important one. It's this. The 3 cousins you mentioned in your acknowledgement section. All of this is one constituent, this chunk here. As long as it is a constituent. It forms a constituent. How do we know that it forms a constituent? Here we have substitution. Substitution simply refers to the replacement of this chunk here by a proform. Somebody said that before. Let's say a pronoun. Okay? So we can replace the whole thing by they. So here we can say that substituting the group of words, the chunk, the constituent by they, testifies to the idea that all these words behave as though they were one entity. Here is the detail of this. That's what you need to say in answer to the question in a paragraph. They here, the pronoun they, has to replace okay, because they represent the whole thing from the until section, proves that the whole thing here is one entity, because all of these are equivalent to this. So substitution, replacement, means that what you are replacing are constituents, of course. So the constituent here happens to be an NP, the syntactic category NP. I have something to say that probably you may not expect me to talk about. Look, here is a technique. نعطيكم واحد التقنية عفاكم in linguistics in general, phonology, morphology, syntax. There is a tip, very important one. If you want to make your argument sound and convincing and impressive to the one who will correct your paper, then what you need to do is try to produce, in the course of arguing, try to produce counter arguments, or not, sorry, counter argument. No. Try to produce ungrammatical forms and tell the world that because this is ungrammatical because etc. Let me apply it with you here. Well, Saida, I don't know whether you are discussing something with Mustafa or related to Professor. That's research. Where here we're talking about the course of syntax and courses of syntax in general, of linguistics in general, even in phonology and morphology. See, no, we're not talking about research here. You see, so look what I will do. This I will let me explain the point by answering this question. So, in saying that I have replaced the whole thing by they, this proves that this is a constituent. I have answered the question. Now, let me be impressive, because there is answering the question and there is answering the question impressively enough. Okay? So one way of being impressive or answering the question impressively enough is to say, of course, yes, we are replacing this by they. We have substituted this by they, which means substitution is a good argument to, to the existence of a constituent this long. And I add that they here, because we cannot say, look at this, point to what is ungrammatical. Just imagine, my friend, that they does not replace the whole thing. It's just until the three cousins you mentioned. Imagine that someone comes and says, well, the constituent stops here, just the three cousins. Just three cousins. Okay? I would say that they replaces the whole thing, because if it replaces only the three cousins, we would have something, we would have something like they you mentioned in your acknowledgements section are nice, and you put the asterisk, that star there, to show that it is ungrammatical. I repeat this argument. So the whole argument for substitution would be that the three cousins, etc., until section are replaced by they, are substituted for they, which proves that the whole thing here behaves as one block, one constituent. That's the reason why they are replaced all by they. And I move to the impressive part. Then I will say, if they replace it, or were to replace only the three cousins, it means that my sentence would be they, I will not repeat the three cousins, they you mentioned in your acknowledgement section, and I would say that this is of course ungrammatical, which proves that they here replaces the constituent, not part of the constituent. In substitution, what is replaced is a full constituent, not a full constituent like this one here. All right? I hope you understand me. فاهمين ولا ما فاهمينش? Type 1 if you understand. The type 1. Very good. ماشي type 1. لا, they are impressive. They are writing yes. Very good. Okay. صافي متفقين. Thank you. Now, شوف شوف it's this. Now هادشي اللي قلت لكم هنا, what I have told you here applies to all other arguments. That, I mean, you point to something in grammatical, and also in phonology, also in morphology. Always, when you are arguing for something, think of the ungrammatical. They are a very nice way of establishing an argument in linguistics. So very nice. So let's move on to the, so you have, here we have substitution. We can substitute. Substitution, we can also substitute the VP. Now we are substituting the NP, okay? Look at this, okay? Let's consider example number 2, but this time a VP, okay? So we say, spontaneous again, I hope my sentence will be correct, okay? She did not read the beautifully written poem. She did not read the beautifully She did not read the beautifully written poem. She did not read the beautifully written poem. Okay, look at this. But her brother did. Did here is one way of substituting something. What does it substitute? It substitutes the VP. And the VP here starts with, so we have she, and then this. Again, so you say that the fact that this did here replaces, because we have, but her brother did. Did what? Read the beautifully written poem. Okay? And then you move to the impressive part, to the impressing, part. Okay. Yeah, sure. But it's, look, it is ellipsis. Its effect is ellipsis. It's a bit it's slightly different, and I will tell you. I will give you the example. It looks like ellipsis. I would agree with you, but it's slightly different. شوف أنا نجيك نيشان. In ellipsis, when you have okay. Look, she says that her brother. Okay, she says that her brother did not reply to her email, but he actually did. Did here, okay, replies, okay, did too, that's true, did too. Anyway, that can be counted as a substitution. Why? It's because we are taking the whole VP here to substitute it with this. Ellipsis is an argument to say that we have did. You see, look at this. Did. بلاتي عافاك خليني تنجي الإليبسيس بوحدها صافي. I'm afraid I will just confuse these things. For the moment, understand this as a good example of substitution as an argument for the existence of constituency. Okay. And this affects, of course, the VP. That's the idea. Just understand it this way. Because what seems to be the situation here is that we have something here that replaces a constituent. That's substitution. We have substituted the whole thing by did. The way we have substituted an NP, okay, we have substituted an NP with what? With we have substituted NP for a pronoun. So we have a pro form or a pronoun for the NP, and we have this auxiliary for the VP. Ellipsis. أنا نجيك الellipsis. You said, look at this, listen. You said that you wouldn't go to the doctor, but you should. هنا ellipsis لأن عندي but you should go to the doctor. You see, هاد should هذه ماشي ما كتعوضش شي حاجة اللي قلتها قبل. بالحق دي هنا كتعوض. فهمتوني وما فهمتونيش؟ فهمتوني ولا لا؟ هذه راه كتعوض كلشي. بويسكو كتعوض substitution. التعويض هو substitution. فهمتيني؟ الإليبسيس اللي غادي نجيو ليها ابخي إليبسيس يعني هو الحذف. مثلا انا كنقول لك فوالا انا I have decided not to revise for the exam. غادي يجي شي واحد يقول لك but you should what؟ شنو should راه it means راه حذفت شي حاجه موراها. should revise for the exam. هذه هي الإليبسيس. حيت should ما كتعوضش داكشي اللي تقال قبل. باغ كونطخ هذه كتعوض داكشي اللي تقال قبل. هل فهمتم ام لم تفهموا؟ alright, very good. Deletion. Ellipsis is deletion. It's clear now. Thank you. Very good. Nice. Very nice. All right. Thank you. Good. اسمحوا لي مسحت هذا الشيء. It's an omission. Ellipsis is an omission. اسمحوا لي. Yeah. مش نعقل على السنتنس. Yeah, she didn't read the beautifully written poem, but her brother did. هنا إلا مشينا لذاك البلاصة ديال impressiveness, if you want to be impressive, نقولوا did here replaces the whole thing. حكا if it were to replace just the verb, we would have, for example, she did not read the beautifully written poem, but her brother did. إلا كانت did كتعوض غير read, but her brother did مثلا the beautifully written poem. No, that will not be. This will be redundant, and this will be, unnatural, of course. Voilà. So, shall I assume that you have understood substitution here? Shall I assume that you have understood substitution here? Yes or no? Yes, very good. Let's move on to number 2. Let's move on to the second argument. Again, شوف عافاكم, if there is one important piece of advice in this live session, apart from talking and giving examples with this, it's the fact that if your professors ask you to write a full paragraph and they don't specify how many arguments, you'd rather go for 2, 3 and illustrate them well. You have to have a topic sentence, you have to have a supporting information, you have to have a concrete example. تنرجعوا نديروا شي سولوني عافاكم at the end. Please ask me this question just to give you a demonstration of a demo of a possible structure skeleton of a paragraph. Now let's move to number 2. Argument number 2. Again, argument number 2 for what? For constituency, for the idea that some words behave as though they were, when they are together, behave as though they are one block. What does it mean they are one block? It means when they move together. If they stay together. If they get deleted together. نعاود لكم هذا. It's all about this. These arguments are for constituency. And constituency means that that some words in languages, all languages in fact, some words behave as if they were one thing. They may be 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5 words, etc. And they become a self-contained unit. I like this, Uthman, self-contained unit, autonomous unit, so much so that when they are supposed to move, the whole group moves. When they are supposed to delete, when there is a deletion process, all of the words delete. They are not a constituent if some of them delete and some of them do not. Okay, so you have Sisaid says, what time what color? Yeah, that's true. Because when you answer the question with what color, the answer is blue. It's not what blue. It's not blue color. It's generally blue, you know? So what color here is, usually in questions, what color jacket do you prefer? What color do you prefer? I prefer blue. Unless you say the blue color, then you are making another structure in there. Okay, good. So substitution, fine. The advice concerning the paragraph, fine, etc. Now let's move on to the second. Yeah, what color is your jacket? It's blue. Thank you. It's blue. It's not what blue, or it's not blue color. All right, good. Now we talk about the second one, which is referred to as displacement. Displacement simply refers to the idea that some constituents, for some reasons, we happen to displace them, that is to say, to move them, okay, from their canonical position. Canonical, I'm sure you have heard this word, canonical. You know what canonical means? Canonical, by the way, this word, I think it comes from Arabic. Qanuni, canonical. I think you look for the etymology of the word, you will find it from Arabic. You see? The canonical, it means القانون, البنية القانونية هي هذه يعني المتعارف عليها. البنية العادية الاعتيادية التي لا تخالف قوانين القواعد النحوية. Okay, so here you have the canonical form. Okay, so we have, I read the book. Look at this. I read the book with interest. I read the book with interest. I read the book with interest. So I read the book, and then I have with interest. So we feel that there are two constituents here. I read the book, of course, and then, of course, with interest is a constituent. Sometimes for stylistic reasons, sometimes for discoursal reasons, we prefer to move this because we want to highlight the manner in which we have read the book. We prioritize this. We put it at the beginning. We front it. So we put it at the beginning, of the sentence, so that I have with interest, I read the book. So here with interest here goes, to the left of the word of the sentence. So we have displaced this constituent. In what way is displacement an argument for the existence of constituents? Very easily, the fact that when we displace, this group of words, we have to displace the whole phrase, the two. Just imagine we can also call it foregrounding. That's a stylistic word, yes. So just imagine I move, and there was sophisticated way, the impressive way. If I displace just interest, it will not work. I will have the ungrammatical sentence. Pay attention to this. I read the book. So interest, I read the book with. Interest, I read the book with. You see? So that's the thing. Asma B, the title of today's lesson is Constituency Tests. Arguments that words form constituents in languages. All right? So I hope you understand this. By the way, I don't know if you did that or not, but just for your information, there are two processes. In displacement, we can talk about two types of displacement. Okay? We have this type of displacement, when you put it before the beginning of the sentence here, when you put it at the beginning, It's preposing. We call it preposing. Pre means before, and posing, it means to put. Posing. You see, preposing, it's this. So we have a preposing process here. Okay, so in a sentence, sorry, let me illustrate it here. This is preposing. We have blah, 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 blah. And when a constituent is taken from here, and a machine movement, it's just, we are not doing X bar here, okay? So, but when you have a word that you take from here until here, or a group of words like here, for stylistic reasons, I read the book with interest, and you take with interest to the front in position. You see, we are talking about, preposing. I like the example given by Natalie and Saeed. Well, look at this. You have, Natalie says, a pizza I ate for breakfast. A pizza I ate for breakfast. Normally, we should say, I ate a pizza for breakfast. So we have decided to highlight the fact that it was a pizza that I ate, not eggs or something else. So we have fronted a pizza, the noun phrase, and this is preposing. Pre means before. Okay, before its normal position. Preposing, posing it before its canonical place. In this sentence by Natalie, a pizza I ate for breakfast. Just imagine I want to tell you that what we ate, so the pizza was eaten for breakfast, not for lunch. So I have to specify, to stress the fact that it was for breakfast. So I can prepose at it. I can displace, because you have displacement here, I can displace in the morning. It means not in the afternoon. You see? Or for la machine in the morning, and for breakfast, but not for lunch. So for breakfast, I ate a pizza. There is no rule for what to front, actually. You front whichever constituent that you want to highlight. Is that I like chocolate, and then you have chocolate I like. Very good. These are cases of preposing. Thank you. Thank you. Well, yes. We displace to put emphasis. I like that. Yeah, that's true. We displace because we want to put emphasis. We put premium on certain constituents for purely stylistic reasons. It means that whether we propose at the level of at the grammatical level, both of them are grammatical. The preposed is grammatical. The non-preposed is grammatical. So I think in your lesson, in your syllabus, you have decided to call it displacement. So in the safest way, you don't need to go into the details of whether it's preposing or postposing unless your professor focused on that. But if your professor did not focus on that, just go for displacement. Because displacement is the umbrella term. So let's not make life more complicated than it already is. So it's not good to complicate life. Maybe after your exams, if you want to join for a more detailed, probably theoretical explanation of things like this, we can do that, no problem. But now you have exams. Okay, you have that chiasmus or chiasmus or chiasmus or chiasmic. No, that's not chiasmus here. Chiasmus is somehow chiasmus is like it's in the sentence like this is stylistics, by the way. But these are stylistic devices that can be used as arguments for the existence of constituents. Yeah. In chiasmus, when you say, for example, let's say Sumia talks to Natalie and Natalie talks to Sumia, that's chiasmus. It's when you have A, B, C, C, B, A. It's like a mirror, okay? And of course, here we can also use chiasmus as evidence for the existence of. Yeah, it's poetic. That's true. That's true. Safid. Okay, my friends, let's move on. Let's move on. Look at this. Sometimes you have. This is an example that exists in the old book I consulted a long time ago, of course. It's your sister, I can't stand. Your sister I can't stand. Initially, it means I can't stand your sister. Maybe because she is nagging all the time. Maybe, okay? I can't stand your sister. But because we want to put emphasis on the fact that it's not your brother that I can, no, it was your sister. So your sister, I can't stand. So here, this is a good case of displacement. And the argument here, ngir, nag sin ngir, exactement. And nagger is someone who nags, nigger. All right. So your sister I can't stand. Can I propose only sister? Belayur? No, we have to move the whole constituent. So this is evidence that your sister is a full constituent, and when it displaces, the whole of it should displace. You see? You cannot say sister, I can't understand. I repeat. Sister, I can't stand your. علاش؟ حيت your has not moved with sister. That's why it's ungrammatical. So when you move half a constituent or part of a constituent, that's the idea, you result in ungrammaticality, as Sumia rightly says. Absolutely. You see, take this is a very good one. When you displace a constituent minus some elements, the sentence will be certainly ungrammatical. When you either displace the whole thing or go home. Safi. Displace the whole thing or fall asleep. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then you have this emphasis again. She will wash the dishes. She will wash the dishes. Look at this. She will wash the dishes. Now, if there is someone who has who has authority, okay, and she is giving orders, I don't know what setting, but see, she can say, look, that woman, for example, I can say that lady refused to wash the dishes, and the authoritative other, I don't know who, will say, no, wash the dishes, she will. Wash the dishes, she will. All right, wash the dishes, she will. Again, we have displaced this. Wash the dishes, she will. You cannot say, just imagine we have just moved wash. It will be ungrammatic because we have wash, she will the dishes. Wash, she will the dishes. It's ungrammatical. This is a very good tip, my friends. Try to produce ungrammatical sentences and say that they are ungrammatical because you have not moved the constituent. Okay, Asma says that dish, how I love it. Displacement example. That dish, how I love it. Yeah, it's a displacement. Of course, there is this compensation with it. Yeah, we can understand it that way. That's true. What if we say the dishes she will wash? That's true. شكون كيهضر؟ سي محمد. Look at this, my friends. From the example that Natalie gave us, and this example that Si Mohammed is talking about, when we propose, sorry, let me use the word that you have probably used, when we displace a constituent. Which constituent? There is no rule. انت ولو شوا ديالك انت داكشي اللي بغيتي تهايلايت انت displace it. For example, look at this. What if we say, he says, the dishes she will wash. In a situation, look, Mohammed, look. In a situation, what is important is we displace a constituent. That's true, Sumia. دابا نشوفوا الفرق بين هذه وهذه ديال سي محمد. Look, she will wash the dishes, she will. We can propose this in a situation where, okay, where the girl, for example, wants to do something else. For example, wants to broom or to mop the ground, the floor. Sorry, to mop the floor. I say, no, we're not going to wash the dishes, she will. Gonna mop the floor. So it's about the changing of activities. Here, no. In the example of Muhammad, for example, the woman says, no, I will just wash the glasses. I will wash the glasses, but not, I will, dishes refers to, the utensils. Okay. She says, I will wash clothes. مثلا. I will wash the socks. I says, no, washing is accepted here, but what to wash? The dish is not something else. Washing كاين. Mais في l'example الأول ديال هذا washing against a different activity. In the example of wash, Muhammad says, the dishes she will wash. It's correctly proposed, but your focus is different from the focus here. And of course, both of them are correct. Why? Whether we say, so wash the dishes is a displacement of the VP, and VPs are constituents. This constituent involves another constituent inside, which is the dishes. Can we say the dishes is a constituent? Yes, of course. بالحقيقة عندي wash the is not a constituent. I hope you understand this. So when we displace, we displace constituents. And which constituents? The ones that we would like to highlight. Salina, صح. Okay? Very important. We have other examples, but since you did not talk about, because we have preposing and we have postposing, sometimes we move a constituent forward. Okay, so we have an example here. It surprised me that she left early. Okay, it surprised me that she left early. It surprised me that she left early. It surprised me that she left early. Okay, عندي هنا what surprised me? That she left early. يعني it's after the verb. It's post-verbal. We can take that she left early and we put it as a subject. We can say that she left early surprised me. Okay, very good. لا أستاذ سمية أنا ما غاديش نتعب معاكم. If you are addressing that to me, so it's not لا ما نتعمقوش في هذا الشيء غير باش نفهموا هذا constituents. All right, thank you. I don't know if that was addressed to me anyway, or are you talking to someone before you? The fact that that she left early surprised me. So that's displacement. That's displacement. All right. No worries, no worries. These are things that are, what is important is that you have understood these things, okay? Of course, look at this. We have a very famous example. We have a very famous test that we're going to talk about here. It's the one called coordination. Coordination. Look at this. I saw a nice cat and a dog. A nice cat and a dog. I use these constituents on purpose. 1, 2, 3 elements, and then you have here 1 and then 2 elements, which means that the criterion for judging a constituent is never in terms of the numbers. It's in terms of its function, whether it plays a function or not. So I saw, what did you see? I saw this and this. Okay? So just imagine I say someone comes, of course, and says, okay. So a dog, I showed to you that a nice cat, and then a dog can be equivalent. They can be coordinated, because when we coordinate, that's the idea. We coordinate things that are equal. You cannot coordinate a full constituent with a half constituent. That's the basic idea that I want to say. So you cannot say, for example, that here let. Well, this is very interesting. You following me here, please? Following me? Is this possible or not? I saw a nice cat and nice dogs. If someone comes and says, because I have nice dogs here, it's a constituent. No, that's possible. Of course, that's possible. علاش كتقولوا no? Why are you saying no? علاش? I saw a nice cat and nice dogs. Nice dogs. Dogs. عطا الله الخير. Sirabi, my friend, hello. We did that in a video that I have just uploaded on the Facebook page. I uploaded it a while ago. There you have all sorts of arguments, please. All right? Okay. Nice. Okay, Rabia, go please, because I did that. I did just that. Yes. A nice cat is the NP. ناقصة من شي حاجة هاد NP ولا ما ناقصاش؟ ما ناقصاش. Nice dogs. يا ودي لو كان قلت لكم nice dog تقدر تقول لي problem of parallelism. أنا ما بقاش problem of parallelism. You see, you understand or no? So I saw. What did you see? You can ask someone. You went to the forest and what did you see? I saw a nice cat and dogs everywhere and dogs. I saw dogs. واش ما نقولش نقولوا I saw dogs? I saw dogs in the street. Yes or no? Yeah, we can. I saw dogs in the street. So I saw people in the street. I saw friends in the street. I saw cats. I saw cars in the street. لا ما تقوليش هكا سمية. لا it's عادي. يمكن دوختو حيت ما لقيتوش هنايا وانتم يبقى فيكم الحال ياك. اوكي هادشي درتو بالعاني. علاش درتو بالعاني؟ باسكو look at this my friends. A nice dog is a full NP. هذه singular هذه plural. لو كان ما كانش هذا plural غادي نقولوا a nice dog حتى هو. The plural of a student is students. Okay? Donc هنا how many? One. هنا many. Why am I saying this? Is this a correct sentence? Yes, it is. Why? It's because we have a constituent here and another constituent here. Problems of parallelism. إلا قلت لكم هنايا and I saw a nice cat and مثلا and a dog barked at me. ما يمكنش نكوردينيو I saw a nice cat and a dog barked at me or barked at me. You saw what? A nice dog and a dog, for example, and a dog quickly, I don't know, wagged its tail. Thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sirabia. Thank you. All right. So here, is this good? Yes, it is. Now, coordination here. This is a coordinator. Okay. A coordination obliges us to combine elements that are, to combine constituents. Not have constituents. Just imagine. Someone can see here. Wait, Arqiya, I'll come back to you, but let me concentrate please on this. I'll come back. Someone can see nice dogs here, nice cat here, and we'll say, well, we don't have a definite article here, and we have it here. So we should delete this. We should I mean, we should combine nice cat and the nice dogs. So if here nice cat is the constituent because we have a nice dog, this sentence will be ungrammatical. علاش؟ حيت غتبقى بلاصتها. I saw a nice cat. What did you see? Number one, nice cat. Nice cat does not mean anything. It needs the okay. It needs the article because we have an NP. Because we have a full NP here. Here we should also have a full NP. Okay. All right. سي عثمان, let me answer you. عاد غنمشي نشوف رقية وآخرون الإخوان الآخرين. بالنسبة للtree diagram for end in X bar theory, it's highly unlikely because the essence of coordination is that it brings clauses that are similar together. So the solution is to do this and to do this separately. I don't know of any lesson or model that deals with these higher order elements. All right. And if you are worried about the exam, then make sure. Well, most likely you will not get it. Most likely, I say, unless your professor focuses on that in the class. In that case, you can go and do it. But generally, syntacticians are more interested in isolating in sentences that are direct and interrogatives, negatives, but not really the ones that are. So it's more geared towards the analysis of simple sentences rather than, despite the fact that there have been questions like that. Okay. Very good. Okay. Is that fine here, my friends? Shimzian? Nice. Qiyas said something. What did we delete here? Is it VP or IP, if possible? Alex will attend and Mary will attend as well. No, it's the VP. Rqiyya, directement. What we have deleted here is not the IP, it's the VP. You know why? Because you have kept will, and we know that will falls under the I0. It tends, we generally auxiliaries fall under the I0. The I0 is the inflection. I mean the tense, T0, let's say, in your language. Okay, so because we have it here, it's not deleted. So what is deleted is actually the VP, not the IP. Okay. So the argument we should opt for is that coordination only coordinates equal fragments. Let's call them. سي محمد نصح لك هذه bien sûr أنا متفق معك. Equal syntactic categories, yes. So in coordination, what we combine logically are full constituents. ما يمكنش نحيد من شي constituent شي element ونكومبايني غير زعما هذا نكومبايني full constituent with the constituent minus something. You cannot do that. Okay? You cannot say, look at this. You cannot combine a good student and good teacher. Is this a good combination? Especially they don't have the S here. ما عنديش الS هنايا. But here I have a full constituent, a good student. But here I have just good teacher. It means that I have an NP minus this determiner, which is not possible. So you can combine, okay, full constituents rather than, constituents that are not full. So that's the idea, Mr. Mohammed. Fine, that now it's fine, okay? Can be done via fanboys, that's true. For and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Thank you. Othman, we can even combine two CP. شوف فين لينا الكونستيتيوت ماشي بالضرورة NP ولا VP. نقول لك we can combine just pronouns. You see, we and you will travel. He talked to me and you. he talked to me and him. Me and him. But we can also have a full NPs. He prefers large cities and small cities. You see? He loves rural areas and, you see, urban areas. But it can be a CP, it can be a VP, it can be, you see, anything. Yeah, it can be a CP. She ate lunch and watched TV. That is a combination, Natalie, of the VP. But if you want to combine a CP, you should say she ate lunch and she watched TV. And it's a combination of a CP, and both of them are correct, of course. بجوج بهم are correct. All right. So should we move to something else? فاهمين هذا الشيء ديال coordination ولا لا؟ حتى but, you know, why do you say old but gold? Can I say old but slowly? لا ما يمكنش. Old by slowly? No. Slowly and surely. Can you say slowly and sure? لا. Impossible, because these are wrong constituents that are combined. Okay, so let's move on, please. Next on the list is the so-called let's move on to clefting and pseudo-clefting. Question formation, we can do that. Yeah, very good. نبداو بكويشن. يلا صافي السي محمد، ملي قلتي كويشن فورميشن نبداو بها. صافي نبداو بكويشن فورميشن قبل الكليفتين. يلا question formation, that's number 4. Question formation. Here, which book did you buy? Which book did you buy? This is a question, yes or no? We have formed the question here. Which book here, we are concerned with which book. So which book here is one constituent. Why? Because in answer to this question, we have, for example, which book do you buy? He bought the blue book. So the blue book here is a noun phrase, yes or no? And we have formed the question by this noun phrase, okay? And we have made, the question by means of which book. Can I say just which? Which alone is not a constituent. We have to have which something. In a question, when you have which, you have which something. Just imagine we say book is not a constituent. It means that we have something like which did you read book? Which did you read book? So here the question is formed, by a wrong constituent, because which alone is not a constituent when we form a question. It's which something. Which color do you prefer? Which car do you drive? Which university did you attend? You see, which language do you prefer to use with me? Which, etc. Okay. So which on its own it results in an grammaticality. So questions are formed by means of constituents rather than by single items. That's the thing. That's the idea. Do you have anything to say here, or should we move? Again, here, one way of impressing is to say, if we ask a question just by means of which is not a full constituent, we will end up with the ungrammatical. That's when we will end up with the grammatical sentence. Which did you buy the book? That's called ungrammatical, of course. You must have IP instead of TP. لا شوف سي سعيد هي سولت في هذا لا أنا فهمتها. رقية سولت السؤال على ماشي موفمنت، لا هي سولت على الديسبليسمنت. وباش تستعمل لاغيومون ديال ديسبليسمنت خصها تقول واش is it the NP that moves ولا the VP. Sorry, is it the IP, the TP, is it the TP or the VP? My answer was that it's the VP that moves. بالحق, when we draw a tree diagram following an X-bar theory, of course, before the VP, there is this TP. Thank you for pointing that out, Si Said. And this is a good way of reminding our friends here. Okay, can we say which did we buy of the books? No, of course we cannot. We would say which did we buy of the books? It's which of the books did we buy? So it's which of the books, which of the two books. Imagine that the difference between which book and which of the two books, it means that there are, you see, there are differences, there are slight differences just in the understanding. Which book, it means that there are many, but which of the books, it means that there are, is this one or this one? Okay, very good, very good, very good. Anyway, so can we move on please? قولوا لي yes ولا إلا عندكم شي حاجة هنايا. Yes, all clear, very good. So let's move on to clefting and pseudo-clefting. واش درتو pseudo-clefting ولا لا؟ هضرتو على pseudo-clefting right one إلا هضرتو على clefting و pseudo-clefting. إلا هضرتو على clefting بوحدها ديروا رقم 2. إلا هضرتو عليهم بجوج clefting pseudo-clefting كتبوا لي رقم 1. كلشي كاتب لي رقم 1. alright, okay, let's talk about that. يلا. غادي نقص شويه فيكم هذا الشيء. نبداو من جديد. نبداو clefting, pseudo-clefting. Sorry. Muhammad. Okay. As simple as Muhammad. Ali, Muhammad, Ibrahim, any John, any light word. Okay, let's say Saeed. نسينا سعيد. يلا نكتبوا سعيد. Okay. Saeed. Okay. Informed me of his new topic. He informed me of his new topic. Let's imagine that you know that I have a question, please, but later, yeah, inshallah, okay. So, Saeed, بعد ايش هي clefting in language? Let's talk about clefting. Okay, clefting, it's so when you have something like this, or one component, a rectangular shape like this. Clefting means to divide it, to separate it, to take part of it. It's like cleaving, a cleavage. Cleavage in English means a rift, a cleavage. شرخ بالضبط كنسميوه شرخ. Okay, cleavage, clefting. ايوا شنو علاقه بكليفتين باش I can just imagine some surprised at things like this. Okay. Yeah, to cleave. لا ماشي هكا. cleave beyond the book. cleave CLEAVE. cleavage. Okay. no. So Saeed informed me that his new topic. I can write. Yeah, that's true, Sumia. Yes, I can write this sentence by using a structure called a cleft sentence. Okay, so I can say it was Saeed who informed me إلى آخره of his project. So here we have a sentence here which gives us the same piece of information as here, except that here I am stressing that it was Saeed, not Mustafa, for example, who informed me. You know this is. The reason why we call it a cleft sentence here is that we have inserted this who here. So we had something like this, and we have separated it, divided it into two by inserting this word here. So when you insert this word, the sentence is not split, but it loses the continuity that it has here. Fine? Yeah, of course. These processes, are mostly to put emphasis, of course. So here we have a clefting option. It was you who ate the chocolate. Yeah, it was you who ate the chocolate, not your brother or someone. So it was saying who informed me, etc. So that's a sweet example. She said, okay, I need just to check something here. Yeah. Let's imagine, so for Saeed, it was fine. Okay. Now just imagine again that in a cleft sentence, I don't have Saeed, I have the student of physics. Okay. The student of physics informed me of his project. When I cleft this sentence, I insert it and then who. This who should not break a constituent like the student of physics. واش فهمتوني ولا ما فهمتونيش؟ alors ما بقاش عندي سعيد هنا، عندي the student of physics, the student of physics, the student of physics. So in a clefting sentence, in a sentence which we refer to as a cleft, when we insert this who, okay, or which, or that, it was the house, it was that house that I wanted to buy. It was that house that I wanted to buy. Donc, that I wanted to buy, the relative pronoun, which I wanted to buy. So, look at this. Imagine I have that beautifully constructed house. صافي that ولا the beautifully باش ما نتخلطوش. It was the beautifully constructed house that I want to buy. It, and then you have that ولا which, يلا نديرو which. It was, and then I have the beautifully constructed house. It's a constituent, yes or no? So in clefting, we should not break the constituent by the fact that we cannot insert it was the beautifully that constructed house which I wanted to buy. ما يمكنش نقولوا هادشي. You understand? So constituents have to be respected in cleft sentences. And they are arguments, of course. This is enough of an argument for the existence of a constituent. In this case, it's the NP. If you have understood, type 1. If you have not, type 2. Yalla, I need to see some more ones, please. More ones. very good, very good. اوكي نايس. اصلا شوف بوتوم لاين، شفتوا هاد لي زارغيومون كاملين عرفوا منهم شي دو زيكزامبل ولا ثلاثه وقولوا باللي the fact that we cannot say this is proof that هادشي كلشي is a constituent. So it's all about arguing for the fact that there are blocks of words that act in concert, that act together. So we have clefting, but we also have this. So this is called clefting. Clefting usually starts with it, and then you have WH here. That or that. That relative pronoun. It, blah, 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 that, plus VP هنايا. That's the clefting. We have something called pseudo-clefting. By the way, it's not pseudo, it's pseudo-clefting. In British English, it's pseudo-clefting. And pseudo-clefting starts with what? What blah, 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 blah was. For example, I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you. Okay, donc c'est Selma. Donc, Jibraoui Selma, it, be, and then focus and then close, yes. For the pseudo-clefting, you have, so I forgot even the example. Spontaneous examples are always forgotten. So what I wanted to tell you was go home. Okay, so what I read was a nice book. Yeah, so imagine I say to you, I wanted to say thank you. This is a normal sentence. But in a pseudo-clefting, I can have what I wanted to say was thank you. What I wanted to say was thank you. Okay, what was thank you? So here, what I wanted to say, okay, and then you have was thank you. So a pseudo-cleft is always with what, and then you have was. What I wanted to do was what I want, etc. Okay, so here the idea is that so after was, after the pseudo-cleft, the first part, what we have is a full constituent. Here it's the VP. Okay, it's one way of arguing for the existence of VP as a constituent. So you cannot say what I wanted to get you, well, what I wanted to say, okay, what I wanted to say was, and then you have go home. So this is part of the VP. So this is a constituent, of course. Yeah, Natalie gives us more. She has always been like that, What he can do is getting up early. Okay, what he can't do is getting up early. Of course, here it's more about the VP there. She's so nice. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just to provide a more concrete example. Okay. The one who did, so I have this. The one who, that's pseudo-clefting. You can also have one or who here. The one who joined us late was Natalie. The one who joined us early was Sumia, for example. Okay. Anyway, both clefting and pseudo-clefting can be used as arguments for the existence of constituents in languages. Okay, nice. So I think this is it, unless we would like us to talk about ellipsis, and I think we referred to that before. We referred to it, before. I think there was a discussion with Uthman on the difference between substitution and ellipsis. Okay. Ellipsis, let me, for those of you who have just arrived, okay. Look at this, and it concerns also the VP. Yes, please, ellipsis, okay. Very spontaneous, accept my spontaneous examples. He blamed me for not posting a message, for posting on Facebook, let's say, posting on Facebook. شوفوا معايا ellipsis هنا. You see, you listen, okay? But should I? This is a rhetorical question, سؤال استنكاري. فهمها ما شغلوش واش بزز. Okay? So he blamed me for not posting on Facebook, but should I? It means, should I post on Facebook? Or, but am I supposed to? Okay, am I supposed to post on Facebook? Okay, that's true. Yeah, des fois, يعني, we eliminate some words, but even if we eliminate them, they are understood. Okay, so that's the thing. In tag questions, that's a very good example of ellipsis. When you have they say that they will not travel tomorrow. Okay, will they? It means, what have we eliminated here? The VP, travel tomorrow. Okay. Okay, all right. I think that he cannot speak 7 languages at the same time, with the same person. Can he? Means, can he what? Speak different languages with the same person. So this is ellipsis. Ellipsis, in English, it means to delete. It's like deletion. Okay, so when you delete, here we have deleted the full VP. But the question is, what's the relation between ellipsis and arguing for constituency? The relation is that when we have ellipsis affects whole constituents. It cannot affect part of the constituent. We cannot say, for example, he blamed me for posting on Facebook, but should I post? You see? But should I post? على الأقل قل by should I post on Facebook? Post on Facebook is, in this case, you have not deleted anything. You have not been involved in ellipsis. But should I? That's the thing. So in tag questions, we have a very good example of ellipsis. He advised me to urgently go to the doctor. But should that to visit the doctor, let's say visit the doctor. اسمعوا هذه مزيان غتوضح لكم هذه القضيه ديال الellipsis and the fact that when you practice ellipsis, when you are involved in ellipsis, you have to retain from writing the whole constituent, not just part of it. اسمعوا هذا الexample هذا. He advised me to visit the nearest psychologist. But should I? صحيحة. Why? I have deleted the VP. Visit the nearest psychologist. Just imagine, وهذه في impressive argument. Imagine the sentence is, he advised me to visit the nearest psychologist, but should I visit and stop? And grammatical. But should I visit, see, incomplet, say, you see, because here we have not, ellipsis does not affect the full VP. It affects just part of the VP. That's the idea. All right. Okay. If you have understood me, write 1. If you have understood me, write 1. And if you have written 1, allow me to leave because I'm very tired. Thank you. Thank you. Alors, next session, بغيتوها phonology, بغيتوها syntax, بغيتوها morphology. I need, maybe you can, I don't know. Let me ask Sumia, because I think that most of the friends here who are interested in these things belong to Sumia's group, because she has been contacting me on this. الله يخليكم Sumia, if you are with us here, ولا وصلوا ليها الميساج اللي مشات أستاذة سمية. she is here. المهم ديروا شي vote ولا المهم اللي قلتوا لي غادي I'll come to talk to you, no problem. Okay, so thank you for Gabin. ما عرفتش انا هاد رقية ما عرفتش هاد Gabin. I don't know. Gabin, pseudo Gabin, that should be an informal thing. You know, ولا it's a syntactic concept I'm not aware of, honestly. That's true. هذه صحيحة. Yes. Mikhail صحيحة. Yes. Sometimes we do it to avoid repetition, but sometimes also كان سمحت سؤال استنكاري بحال it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. It means that we want that to put emphasis on certain aspects of what we want to say. Okay, so have some sort of poll and let me know what you would like the session to be later. I hope I have been of some help in this session, although I don't feel really comfortable because I'm very tired. So thank you so much. Professor, could you please help us to draw a diagram of the following sentence? Next session, the boy sitting in the waiting room is my son. Of course. Miriam Aban, Afak. Miriam, next session, come on time. Shofi Miriam, come on time and paste that question and we will start with it. Question continue, inshallah. Thank you. Automatically, can you create a poll? Has this session been of any help? Has this session? Thank you. It's good. Feedback is good. If there is anything wrong, if any mistake, I would love to receive feedback. I will never have, I will never be, fed up with the feedback. So it's good. Okay, thank you, my friends, and let's meet on another occasion, inshallah. Have a good night. Thank you.